I will ensure that the future of crypto and the future of Bitcoin will be made in the USA, not driven overseas. I will support the right to self-custody to the nation's 50 million crypto holders. I say this with your vote.
Donald Trump just delivered one of the greatest presidential pro-crypto speeches of all time.
And if you vote for me on day one, I will commute the sentence of Ross Ulbricht.
And that's different than Kennedy.
And I'm going to put the whole budget on blockchain.
And that's different than Biden.
President Biden signed an executive order today directing the federal government to come up with a plan to regulate cryptocurrency.
Listen to the full speech. This literally just happened. Then we'll talk Biden, then we'll talk Kennedy.
And I will also stop Joe Biden's crusade to crush crypto.
But in the year of a U.S. presidential election, you have no idea how big crypto is about to be.
And if you vote for me on day one, I will commute the sentence of Ross Ulbricht to a sentence of time served. He's already served 11 years. We're going to get him home. We're going to get him home. I'm proud that I have put forward a detailed plan to smash the censorship and industrial complex and restore free speech. On day one, I will sign an executive order banning federal agencies from colluding to censor the lawful speech of American citizens. And I will also stop Joe Biden's crusade to crush crypto. We're going to stop it. I will ensure that the future of crypto and the future of Bitcoin will be made in the USA, not driven overseas. I will support the right to self-custody to the nation's 50 million crypto holders. I say this with your vote. I will keep Elizabeth Warren and her goons away from your Bitcoin. And I will never allow the creation of a central bank digital currency.
So I liked some things Trump spoke about just now regarding crypto, and I want to hear more on some other things Trump spoke about. Of course, we'll talk about Biden's updated policies regarding crypto. Of course, we'll talk about Kennedy's policies on crypto. We give you all the information on Altcoin Daily. That's why you subscribe. But I like how Trump spoke about clear policies, or at least more specific policies on what he'd actually do, right? Because sometimes he'll just talk positively, generally, speak to the people in the room without getting specific.
And I say this, a lot of people are very much for it, probably a lot of the people in this group, and I'm fine with it. I want to make sure it's good and solid and everything else, but I'm good with it.
These were clips from earlier this month.
And if you like crypto in any form, it comes in a lot of different forms. If you're in favor of crypto, you better vote for Trump.
But I liked how this time Trump got a little more specific on actual policy, right? I will support the right to self-custody to the nation's 50 million crypto holders. Self-custody meaning you're allowed to hold your own crypto. I can hold my crypto, you can hold your crypto, instead of legally needing a third party like a bank. They're the only ones allowed to hold your crypto. No, individuals should have this basic right. He spoke about how he will never allow the creation of a central bank digital currency. And of course, he mentioned he will commute the sentence of Ross Ulbricht, which is very important. This has always been an issue that was very important for the long-time crypto community. Again, newer crypto people may not know who Ross Ulbricht is, but OGs, this is a big issue.
I'm going to make sure that Bitcoin is protected, that people can keep their own wallets.
And before we get to Biden, let's be fair, the now independent candidate, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., he was pro-crypto first.
There's a lot of people who are not in this room for whom Bitcoin may seem an issue that's too trivial for a presidential campaign. David Bailey at a party that we were at last night asked me how I got sold on Bitcoin. And I told him that it happened to me in an instant when I saw what happened at the trucker strike in Ottawa.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is promising no taxes on Bitcoin and backing the US dollar with Bitcoin.
I'm going to make sure that that Bitcoin is protected, that people can keep their own wallets, that the current White House war on Bitcoin will be over, that transactions will be protected and encouraged. And I'll look ultimately at treating it as a currency rather than a commodity.
Right.
Particularly for smaller Bitcoin owners, for transactions owners. You know, I don't want to provide a windfall for the billionaires who accumulated Bitcoin, but I think smaller actors in transactions, that their transactions should be able to transact to change currencies the same way that when you go to Canada and you're using a Canadian dollar, you ought to be able to come to the United States without, if there's some appreciation in the Canadian dollar, you shouldn't have to pay for it in tax.
Honestly, to me, he's the most pro-Bitcoin candidate in terms of the actual policies he's promised thus far.
And I'm going to put the whole budget on blockchain. And
so are you...
And that means that every American, anytime they want, will be able to see how every dollar that they paid in taxes is being spent. So, you know, you'll have millions of eyes on our budget, and if somebody is spending, you know, the Pentagon hasn't passed an audit in 30 years.
And then, of course, Joe Biden playing a little catch-up. He probably will take credit for the recent Ethereum ETF that was just approved.
Our view is that that was a political shift. It was a shift in DC, whether it was the Biden admin or higher ups in the Democratic Party. It doesn't really matter. As far as we're concerned, this was a shift politically. You can see that with a lot of the votes that just happened in DC, Trump going pro-crypto.
Now, this is major. I give Biden full credit. I'd give Trump full credit. I give any political candidate full credit if they want to put in real policy that helps all Americans.
And it's not like you gain any voters by being anti-crypto. Those people would vote for the Dems anyway. But you lose some by being so anti-crypto.
After all, crypto shouldn't be a one-party issue.
And in a razor-thin race, this matters. And so, yeah, I mean, again, we don't have any like smoking gun, but all the circumstantial evidence points to what James said. This was political.
For those who haven't, I highly recommend this video. Over 100,000 people have already watched.
I mean, is there precedent for this happening? And does it really just work like that there can be some sort of political shift? And like, just like that, the SEC just does a 180-degree pivot? I mean, it just seems bizarre to me.
Crypto policy is being passed today in lead up to get your vote for the US presidential election. Also, be sure to join us at Crypto Conference Bitcoin Nashville. Use code Altcoin Daily for 10% off your ticket. Link down below. And like always, see you tomorrow.